You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.
For the 53rd time, it's Guitar Talk featuring the illustrious Dave Levine and
the
not so illustrious John Bingham.
What was that? Remember those two guys? They did that. They had Kovar loved that singer, and they had the two guys, and it was like they were acting like DJs talking about the singer. What was the singer's name?
I don't know.
Little Wings. Remember the guy saying Little Wings, and he had the power stance?
No.
Mark Gormley.
Oh, Gormley. Sure. I remember the name.
I had to think about it for a sec. Mark Gormley. So yeah.
Deep.
Oh, yeah, totally. Folks, this is going to be an extravaganza bonanza special. This is the 53rd episode. Usually where our episodes go about an hour, this one's going to go a full hour and 20 seconds. You really get your money's worth. So Saturday night, I played in Newport. We did an acoustic gig. And
Newport,
I guess Newport, Rhode Island. And Jennifer Lawrence was getting married down there, and there was some big other event going on down there, but the place was packed. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. It's a really fun bar down there called the Midtown Oyster Bar with good food, and it was great. While I was driving down, I was hearing a commercial for this place called the Spire Center in Plymouth, Mass. And Steve Sweeney was going to be performing down there, some blues girl, and the band New England, I believe, was doing like a 40th year reunion. And I don't know if anyone here remembers the band New England, but two of the guys left the band to form the band Alcatraz with Yngwie and Graham Bonnet. But they have the original drummer Hirsch Gardner playing, and I thought it was funny because then they played the song on the radio, their hit, "Don't ever want to lose you" or something like that. And I listened to it, and it was like, I could see why they didn't do much more after that.
The only thing funnier than that is Boston comic Steve Sweeney.
Oh, he's great.
So Sweeney was playing. How'd you not get out of your gig to go and see that?
Oh, no, he hasn't played yet. This was like the upcoming Saturdays coming up.
Oh, I thought you said that he was playing the weekend. Okay.
Yeah, Sweeney plays all the time. I mean, seeing Steve Sweeney in Boston live is like, it's like seeing the traffic on the Southeast Expressway. It's just common. It's just,
all right.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting that New England was getting back together to do this show. A few years ago, I played. I was working as the guitar player that hosts an open jam, and Charlie Farron wanted to come down and play the open jam and perform and do his stuff. So they wanted me to play bass, and so Charlie Farron's manager called me up and was like, "Listen, can you do it?" And I said, "What are the songs?" And they told me the songs, and I'm like, "No." They were like, "Why?" I said, if I'm going to play with Charlie Farron, I want to play with the songs that I want to play. East Coast, West Coast, that he sang with the Joe Perry Project. Listen to the Rock and Roller with the Joe Perry Project. And it was funny because he says, well, let me call him and see. So he calls him, and Charlie Farron says, yeah, that's okay. I'll do those. So anyways, he fast forward to the day of the show. He comes up, he's talking to me. He's like, hey, let me ask you a question. Did you really wouldn't play if we didn't do those songs? I'm like, yeah, what the hell am I going to play with you for? If I go and play with you and tell my buddies, hey, I played with Charlie Farron, they're going to say, did you play East Coast, West Coast? I'm in no position to say no. You know what I mean? It's going to be yes. It was hilarious. He was very funny. He was a nice guy.
That's funny. Good on you.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Hey. Sorry. Just thinking of that terrible Will Ferrell skit. Remember the Will Ferrell skit where he's Harry Carey?
Oh,
hey! It's the funniest damn thing.
I always thought that his Harry Carey was derived from, there used to be a comedian named John Campanera, and he used to do a great Harry Carey. It was very similar, but it was really funny.
All right.
He's like, here's a kid from the Dominican Republic where the sun shines 365 days a year, and he misses a pop-up in the sun. How does he collect his check, with a mask and a gun? Campanero was excellent.
Yeah, I didn't know him. That's
Yeah.
definitely more reasonable than if the moon was made of spare ribs, would you eat it?
Yeah, I mean,
The Farrell skit. Just funny on its own, but whatever.
So I'm digging my ass off. I have so many
yeah.
gigs coming up. I have a ton coming up. A friend of mine called me up the other day, found an amp. He's like, I found a JCM 900 2501. Sends me a couple of pictures. They're mint. Tells me the price. Says that's what he paid for it. He'll turn around and resell it if I don't want it. But do I want it? I'm like, I'll check it out. I'll
Is
see
that
what
112 or 212.
It's 112. The 2502 was the 2x12. 2501 is a 1x12. Great,
So it's
great sounding amp.
non-reverb, right?
No reverb.
Okay.
No reverb.
Mark III, no reverb. 50 watts,
Yes.
single 12, and I'm assuming that it's like the Celestion
Right.
7080 or like the 75 watt, what's it called, the G75T or whatever.
Right. And if I don't like the speaker, I have another one here as well. I have the English vintage 30
V30, yeah.
that you get from Mesa.
Right.
And yeah, so I mean, it'd be interesting. My thing is, it's got to be half the weight of this Mesa single rectifier that I'd love to bring out to every gig. You know, it's like, it just sucks. It's like I take out the night train, and it's because of the weight. The sound of it stinks. It's just, it's a little too. It's look, it's just a little too nasally for my taste. It has a tone. There's a tonal quality, and it's funny because when I play, people will be like, "Oh, that sounds great." I'm like, "Is it that I don't like the way it sounds when I play it, or are they not hearing what I want to hear?" I don't know, but I just feel like it lacks something. And so if this thing can be in that weight where it's not a pain in the ass, and I would take it out, I'll do every gig with it. You know, and I'll get rid of that night train. I probably should have gotten rid of the night train, but I mean, you know, it's a sound, whatever.
Yeah,
It's still selling my.
You're
my
not
two
gonna.
Strats.
You're not gonna get much for it. You know, it's what do you
I
need?
didn't-
200
I didn't
bucks
pay
on
much.
eBay.
Yeah, that's what I sold it for. That's what I got it for.
Yeah, so if that's the case, I mean, what the hell's the difference? Just hang on to it. Use it every once in a while.
Yeah, I thought about that too. It's just like it becomes, I start to look like the showroom to
Yeah, you're like early
insert your own
2000s, early 2000s Korg USA showroom right now. You got your Vox and a whole bunch of Marshalls and
right.
yeah.
Except there's a Mesa there.
Well, that's the what do you call it? That's like a research amp. You're digging through that and listening to it. You're gonna model your next amplifier model after that one. Anyway, hey,
So
I got that GNL.
Oh, really?
I did. I
Let's,
did.
is
I
it-
got some. It's cool. I gotta say, check it out. It's black. None more black.
I like the.
Oh.
I do like black on black.
Yeah, it's a cool guitar. I mean, in terms of playability and all that stuff, plays great. Let's talk about the pickups for a second.
Oh, those are
Gotta
great.
say. Now, if I remember correctly, you have a GNL ASAT, but you have the ASAT with the MFD, like true single coil sized single coils, as opposed to this, which is like the soap bar that they do.
Right.
Okay, so my experience with these so far is just like they characterize it. They say it's got these strong extended lows, it's got extended highs. My translation of that is it's sort of a scooped sounding pickup. It's got a lot of lows. It's got a lot of highs. It's really articulate sounding. I gotta say, I really like it.
Yeah, I did.
The smaller ones kind of the same.
The smaller ones are, I would just say they sound like true single coils, and they have a stronger bite. So they're a little brighter, probably. Yeah, I would probably say it's more of a scooped, which is what I like.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing that was funny about it is after playing this for a few minutes, I was playing it at the office the other day, and then right afterwards I said, I'm real curious to hear what a true P90, like an Alnico P90 sounds like.
Uh-huh.
And so we plugged in one of the Friedman tellies with the P90s.
Nice.
And it's amazing. Like once your ear tunes into the scooped sounding pickup, you plug in that one and it almost sounded like you were playing through like a half-cocked wah pedal. Like it was really noticeable. You're like, why are there so much mids in this? What is going on? It takes your ear a minute to adjust to that. And then once it does, it's like, why does the G&L pickup sound so scooped? What's going on here? It's very funny.
Yeah. It's funny with those mids that are so strong in a regular P90, it's perfect for slide guitar. And that's why I think P90s are a great slide guitar pickup, because it's got that throaty mid-range that I do not like in a regular style of guitar.
Interesting. I never heard you talk about that, but that's cool.
Yeah, those are great pickups in that guitar. I love those pickups.
I really think that's the special thing. That's like the one thing that they're doing that's really cool. Nobody else makes a pickup like this. Like even looking online to see if you can find an aftermarket version of it. I mean, you can buy them aftermarket from G&L, but you can't find somebody making an aftermarket version of this particular pickup. It's not out there.
Right.
Sort of a weird like deal, but it does sound really, really good. So I gotta say,
it has something to do with the magnet being under it instead of it being the pole pieces.
Well, that's how a P90's built.
Oh, I thought P90's built. Oh,
it's built the same way.
Oh, okay.
Which is what differentiates it from a true like typical single coil.
Right.
But this is a different thing. I think what they're using on the GNL is they're using a ceramic magnet, and it's also, if I remember correctly, it's a thicker magnet, and so that it's less winds with a bigger magnet.
Yeah, interesting.
So you get like they claim lower noise, which makes sense, I guess, because of the less windings, lower noise, more output.
And they use the proper tone plastic.
Yes, that is correct. That's so stupid. I love it. I saw an article online yesterday. Somebody from BBE, who owns G&L, was talking about the reason why, like they had to make a reason why Leo Fender's workbenches were painted seafoam green. Like anybody gives a shit.
Oh, God. What's funny is somebody commented on my thing the other day. They were like, on my video on tone wood, and they were like, you're an idiot. The pickups are screwed into the wood, and that's part of the vibration. And what goes in this whole thing. I'm like, what pickups are screwed into the body? How many guitars can you name where the pickups are screwed directly into the body? 3? And they're not even big ones? You know what I mean? A couple of Charvels maybe, and a...
Right. It's only going to be shredder guitars.
Right? You know what I mean? I'm like, what, a Les Paul and a Strat's plugged in, it's screwed into plastic. The mounting rings... No, tone plastic, yes, of course, not to be confused. You know what's funny is I was thinking about this the other day because somebody commented on one of my videos of tone wood, and they were saying to me, do I think that the acoustic guitar's wood doesn't matter when it's plugged in? And I'm like, well, other than the Taylor guitars, because Taylor uses those little mic sensor things under the top, other than Taylor's, it's a piezo pickup that's under the saddle.
Right.
The only thing that matters in an acoustic guitar is the preamp.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that have built-in condenser mics internally, so that obviously will pick up what is, this is a part of the preamp.
It's the preamp that's doing, I mean, like when the Aura system,
Yeah.
and the Cool Tube preamp from Takamine. Ever since I've been playing out using the Cool Tube by Takamine, people will constantly come up and go on about how great the tone of the guitar is. And they're like, what is that wood? Is that cedar? It's like, it doesn't matter. It's the Cool Tube. That's what Ricky Skaggs used to use. That's why, it's those preamps from Takamine that he was using. And then there's a guy named Steve Warner who went to Takamine because of it. Thank you.
Famous French guitar player, Steve Warnier. Yeah.
Exactly.
Stefan. Yeah.
Stefan.
No, he, did you watch that Chappelle special where he's talking about Juicy Smollett?
No.
Oh, it's the funniest damn thing. It's the latest bit that he put together, stand-up thing. It's brilliant. Anyway,
I went through a bunch of Gaffigan videos recently. He put out a bunch. They're great.
So stupid.
Oh, they're great.
Everything's about food.
Oh yeah.
What is it he says? A tub of butter helps the bug meat go down, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
He's talking about lobster.
Yeah, totally. This one he was talking about. His wife had like a brain tumor, and the guy's like, it's the size of a. What did he say it was? It was the size of a pear. And he was like, yeah, that guy doesn't look smart enough to understand centimeters. I'm going to go with food. Now, he doesn't look like a guy who eats much fruit, but I'm going to stick with a pear. It's great stuff. Gaffigan's awesome.
That's fun.
But yeah, so, it was just funny because the acoustic guitar, you go and you play, it's like, even people with there used to be a guy that played on Santa Monica Promenade. I don't know if you remember him. He was like a balding guy, kind of had the hairdo of Klaus Meine. He would play a Collings acoustic, but he had, I'm telling you, $8,000 to $10,000 worth of outboard gear.
I remember that.
Yeah, and the guy's out there playing, and his sound was unbelievable. And it's like, forget the fact that his guitar's worth $2,000 or $3,000, was the most beat up Collings you'd ever see. But literally, he had thousands of dollars of outboard gear, the delays, the racks. The thing sounded great, but that's what you pay. That's what you're listening to.
Hilarious.
That's
so funny. So what was the preamp that everybody used before they came out with the Cool Tube? It was like I don't know what they call it.
Takamine, you mean?
Yeah, the common Takamine one that Warner and Jorgensen and everybody was using.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Any idea? Because it's just a solid state preamp. There's no Cool Tube in it, but
right.
Again, just a good sounding unit. They know how to make a good sounding pickup. And as far as that goes, for live guitars, I think Springsteen was using it, Warner was using it, Jorgensen. Who else was using Takamine? I think Paisley was using it before he went to Gibson, Kenny Chesney or whatever. All the guys in country. Yeah. The Warner model, the one that his signature was based on, was a laminate back and side guitar. Solid top. Was it the 340? 341? Something like that?
It was black.
Right. Yeah, precisely.
I forget the model number. It was 341 maybe.
I think that's what it is. But a lot of people, they always freak out about, the tone wood and stuff. Like we're talking now. When it comes to live, God, even Ramirez guitars, the super high end $8,000 classical guitars for performances and stuff. Those guys are all using laminate side guitars, solid top, solid back, laminate sides. And it has everything in the world to do with feedback rejection and that sort of an atmosphere, which is just crazy to me that a guitar can have that kind of price and be,
yeah. Well, I think
anyway.
It's there's so much smoke and mirrors in the business. It's like if you're buying an acoustic and you want to hear how great a Collings guitar sounds, is Collings worth $3,500 for a DH2? Probably. Listen to it through a microphone. It's gorgeous. You put a real mic on it, but plug it in live. If you put some type of preamp in there, you can get a Takamine to sound just as good.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's you're not hearing any of that stuff.
That's why you see a lot of these companies coming out with these interesting acoustic guitar preamps that have like the images inside of them,
Right, the
like
Aura.
what
That's
was
why I brought up the Aura, because wasn't
oh
that the
yeah.
one?
Yeah, there's like Martin D28 auras, like, hey, if you want your guitar to sound like a J200, use setting number 14. And it's just like,
Right,
I just bought a $3,000 HD28. Why do I want it to sound like an SJ200?
right.
It's ridiculous, but yeah, whatever.
But you could also get thousands of dollars of outboard gear. Thank you.
I think
Yeah,
all
it's
you
crazy.
need for good outboard gear is you get yourself a Neve preamp, maybe a UA, LA2A. You don't need much.
And if you're gonna get a pair of powered speakers and get a Neve console out there on the side of the stage with you too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, honestly, I'm using a hardwire reverb, which sounds phenomenal. I plug my guitar right into it, and I plug it right into the board, and I'm going through a Behringer board, and I got a little bit of reverb on that going out to the powered speakers. Thing sounds fantastic. Everywhere we play, people are like, you guys sound great.
Huh, maybe there's something to do with the player rather than the gear.
Well,
Novel concept.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's just, you put a little reverb on the guitar, get it a little wet, get out there and start to put it together and play. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So many people are like, it's literally, I've been watching so many gun videos because I've just been jonesing to go out to the range. And I watched a couple of where these guys were arguing about the rounds. And, the 10 millimeter is becoming popular again. And it could be the worst round ever because it's just so ridiculously loud. It's expensive. And ballistically, it's not that much better than a 40. Now, if you're going to go out and you need to go protect yourself against bears, I would rather have a 44 Magnum with me, but whatever. Anyways, the point is you have these people, they do 9 million ballistic tests, and it's like, well, this is still a great defense. A 22 is a great defense. It's better than nothing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be shot by anything. You know what I mean? These people are nuts. 9 millimeters a pussy round. You take one. Back off.
Stick your leg out. Stick your leg out.
Right.
I'm gonna shoot you in the leg, and you tell
Hit
me
me in the fleshy part of the leg. Remember that in The Sopranos? Get me in the fleshy part of the leg.
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, you have bigger. It's like, yeah, I shot 45 for a while, and I shot 9 millimeter, and 45 is fun as yeah, it's fun as hell to shoot, but it's also really expensive.
Yeah,
nearly twice the price of shooting 9. So it's like,
45s did come down.
I don't know how much I care if it's a pussy round. I'd rather shoot 9 because I can shoot 100 of them for the same price I can shoot one box of 45.
Right. No, it's true. It's totally true. But I just think. But it's funny. The reason I brought it up was not to talk so much about guns, but it's like no matter what hobby you're in, there's the same people that are out there talking, making a conversation about something and talking about unnecessary things. It's like whatever you feel like playing. If you like playing a Les Paul and you don't like the way a Strat feels, play a fucking Les Paul. Who cares? You like the way a Strat feels and you don't like a Les Paul? Play a fucking Strat. What the hell? Who cares? It's like people are like, I did a solo for Stairway to Heaven for my channel on Facebook. And I think I posted on YouTube too. And somebody commented like, that doesn't sound like like something about a Les Paul. And it's like, well, the guitar he used in the studio was a Telecaster. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel like playing, play it. If it makes you play longer, play longer. If it,
Here's a correlation to the bullet thing. I'm still using EXL. I use 140s, but you use EXL. You use 110s?
120s.
120s. Okay, so you're using 9 to 42s.
Yeah.
Okay. So They have the NYXLs,
I use those too.
and I hear a lot of people talking about them. It's a lot more expensive. What's your opinion on that? I'm still like more than fine with my standard EXLs. You get them less than $5 a set, But then you've got these NYXLs that people talk about, and they're like, "Oh, this is a better string." It's like,
my honest opinion?
Yeah, can it really be better?
I do like the NYXL slightly better.
I'd be very curious to try the NYXLs, I guess.
They're great.
But it just
I
seems
like them a lot.
Yeah, it seems like with that price difference.
Yeah, I would say it depends. Here's the other thing. They last longer. So if you're someone that changes your strings once every 3 weeks to a month, I would say try the NYXLs. You'll probably keep them on for 2 to 3 months. They're that much better. So that might be good.
Interesting. I know that I think we're in the process of switching to using NYXLs on all of the guitars that we make.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Well, strings is another thing. It's like when I play Ernie Ball strings, I do not like the way they feel. I don't like the way they sound. And maybe it's mental. It might just be mental. I don't know.
I think they sound good right out of the gate, but for whatever reason, my history with those strings has been one use and they're dead.
Yeah, they don't have the same. There's a quality that I like in the there's a brightness, I should say, I like more in the D'Addario. And
yeah,
I like the D'Addario, but some people will be like, I like Ernie Ball. Well, you hear something that you like in that Ernie Ball. What am I going to do? Argue with you about it? It's your preference.
totally fine.
I think, let me say this for anybody that's playing. If you're playing at home and you're just a home player, I'm all for whatever amp you want to buy, but you could just use a modeling amp and get away with so much more and have a great sound. Sure, if you want a nice bedroom amp like a Morgan, that's great. I mean, actually, because who the hell wants to go take that? They're not inexpensive, but they're good for bedroom amps. But I'm saying
a Morgan bedroom amplifier.
Well,
they're so loud.
What's that?
They're so loud.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I just think that people are better off buying, these amps that they're. I see these videos of like people just checking out amps and showing amps. I mean, even Marshall now has the 20 watts and this and that.
Right.
Unless you're doing home recording, if you're just playing at home for practice and something you enjoy, get yourself a nice modeling amp. They're fine.
What's practice?
What?
What's practice?
Someone that's not going out to gig is probably sitting at home playing and learning new songs, and that's a form of practice.
Learning? Oh, I haven't done any of that in like 15 years.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm just teasing. It's just embarrassing how little my playing has advanced since I've had children. This is another reason, not to have them. It's like, Jesus, right. my motivation for learning new things is like totally down the tubes. This is the only new thing that I'm doing now. So I take if I'm playing off of A, I don't know if you can hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing off of A. I'll do this bend here where you're on the E and the C, and you bend that C up
to C sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just that. That's like the only new thing I've learned in the last 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if you learn songs, because that sounds like the beginning of Ballad of an Unknown Gun, or no, Ballad of what's the name of that song? It's on Elton John's Tumbleweed Connection.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's something like that. But yeah.
I continue to rewire pedalboard after pedalboard because that's what I need to become, to be happy as a guitar player.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
That's the problem we have in this industry.
I get a
mean,
lot
it
of students that'll ask me,
keeps me
I
filled.
want to learn this, and I want to learn that. I want to learn this, and I want to learn this song. And I'll tell them, today we're going to learn this song. And they'll be like, well, I don't really care for that song. I'm like, it's not about the song. It's about, there's a couple of things technique-wise that go on during this song that is nice to know. And there's a great thing. Who's the bass player that had that? Oh, Jeff Berlin. Jeff Berlin talked about how when people take up golf, they go and they get lessons, they learn every little thing they can about the game, and they get involved and they take it serious. And when they play guitar, when they take up playing guitar, they want to control what they want to learn. Like, this is what I want to do. Could you imagine if you wanted to be a doctor and you're like, yeah, I don't want to do blood. I want to just, right now, I just want to concentrate on bones. It's like, what? You know, you don't know what you need to learn. You have no idea what you need to learn. So it's like, it's great to go out there and take lessons and see what, I mean, so many people are too proud. I've taken lessons off and on over the years continually, because somebody can always show you something you don't know, but you don't know what to work on. You don't think about it in that way. And, you know, if like you were, if you're going to, you know, if you were going to go get a surgery, I got two guys for you here. This guy's a self-taught surgeon, and this guy here graduated and did an internship. And he was, so the guy over here was told what to learn, and this guy over here basically got to pick what he, and he's like, I got a knife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I hear you. I hear you.
so I think it's important to try to learn as much as you can, but also reach out to people and say, hey, what should I be working on? What could I be working on? And I mean, sometimes it's a level of affordability if you can afford to have a teacher all the time, but still it's a good idea to sit there and, yeah, the thing that you were just talking about, playing that chord, that's a cool thing, bending the minor third to the major. It's a very Southern type sounding thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Works in the blues.
Yeah, it's bluesy.
Now the yeah, I think just like the self-recognition of knowing that you've got space to grow is important in this whole thing. You know, as a younger guitar player, being like really into like Yngwie and Vi and all that stuff as a teenager, you start trying to learn how to like shred, and you learn to play fast, and you learn linear type of stuff, and you completely don't cover, let's just say, like, you don't cover blues, or you don't cover your boxes, your pentatonic stuff, which a lot of people learn first. You know, you start going and playing with people, and you find that like some of the stuff that you spent all that time learning isn't that easy to pull off in an environment where a lot of people are playing like a 1-4-5 or whatever. So, you know, yeah, you gotta fill in that space, fill in that gap. I found like myself, I didn't spend any time like learning bluesy stuff till years later in my playing.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing to think that something as simple as like, you know, like just that sort of a walk down. Like, I didn't know how to do that until I played guitar for like 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that everybody probably knows how to play after a year of playing. So always, it's just where you spend your time, you know?
Yeah, it's totally true. When I was a kid, I was big into Zeppelin, so I learned a lot of the blues by learning Since I've Been Loving You and a lot of the Zeppelin tunes. And then, you know, metal was kind of just happening. So it was like when Yngwie came out, I didn't know anybody that could play anything like Yngwie. It wasn't until I hit my 20s, and then all of a sudden I met Joe Stump, and it was like, oh, there's a guy that can play that stuff. And when you watch him play it, you're like, oh, I get it. He plays it in this certain position type of thing. And it was real interesting. But yeah, I think you're always growing. I mean, music is all about, you know, when you're playing an instrument, it's always about moving and growing. And, you know, like for me, I'll go back and forth to a lot of songs. There's a song by Earth, Wind and Fire called That's the Way of the World. And the chords is a workout to learn the chords and get all the changes that go up and down and how it fits. And to me, that's like a big part of music and that people ignore the chordal playing of stuff. Or today I was listening to Teddy Pendergrass. I think I better let it go. Do, do, do. Talk about a love TKO. Oh, man. Let me tell you something. Love TKO is the greatest.
That's hilarious.
It's just genius. But yeah, no, I mean, there's so many songs and so many things that you play. You should just always be trying to improve, you know? There's a good community on YouTube where these guys, like, they make backing tracks and they play and they wank all over it. And I think it's good, but I think they kind of missed the point. It's like, because there isn't any constructive anything on it. It's everyone's just patting each other on the back. And I get it. It's a nice environment to be in. But there's some things where I watch people play and I'm like, you should watch your bends. Like, you should really pay attention to being in tune and play with a tuner and put the tuner on, but pass so you hear the signal, but you can see where the bend is. Just stuff like that. Because, you know, when you hear like different players play, when you hear a guy that really bends in tune, it's like, oh, that's, you know, it's something. Just that we should always be trying to improve and not be afraid to comment and say, hey, you know, I mean, there's many times that I've talked to people and they're like, hey, you know, when you did this, I think it would be better if you did it like that. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I got to go back and look at it and reevaluate it. But I mean, I'm open to all that. I think that people should just be, you know, more in tune with trying to just improve and enjoy it. It's music is there for you to enjoy. I watched a video of what's that drummer that everybody loves, Buddy Rich. And I literally think that guy might be the biggest screaming douchebag there is. He is just oh man, he's just like insulting to anybody that's not jazz. He's like, jazz is, and then he plays a song and it's like the drums are just shitting all over the place. It's like, I don't care how good you are. I don't want to hear a roll. Play a groove. You know what I mean? To me, I could hear Jeff Beccaro playing the drum beat for I Keep Forgetting. It'd mean more to me than hearing any of Buddy Rich's shit.
Right.
And he's just condescending about any other kind of music. It's like, really? He's like, yeah, country music is really dumb music. It's like, yeah, you play a fucking train beat that fucking kills. You know what I mean? Fucking train beats aren't easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't listen to jazz. And all of the years of like learning or not learning or whatever, I've tried so many times to like get into jazz and trying different artists and whatever.
It's one of those things. Either you dig it or you don't. That's my issue I have with Buddy Rich, because he's like, jazz is the next. It's this. It's great. It's this. It's that. Yeah, if you don't dig it, you don't dig it. It either speaks to you or it doesn't. If it speaks to you, it's great. If it doesn't, and like, I mean, Western swing has a lot of jazz influence in it. But if someone's playing Western swing and they don't really care for the full true jazz bebop, all right, well then, I don't see the big deal. I like it all personally. I think it's all good.
I mean, there's a lot of things where I find like jazz elements, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. I like when somebody can pull that off. Like if I listen to like some of the rockabilly stuff where they're pulling off some like real cool jazzy stuff, I dig it. But there's also a song behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, I could give a shit about 3 guys or 4 guys playing a loose structure where, you know, the formula isn't going to be a song, but it's rather just going to be a solo. It's like, all right, here's the theme. We start the theme. Oh, you solo first. Oh, back to the theme. Oh, your turn. Okay, your turn. It's just like a circle jerk. It's like, forget it. I have no interest.
Yeah, like I said, if people dig it, if it's your thing, and it's cool. I just don't see. I wouldn't sit there and then say, well, rap sucks. I like rap. I mean, there's good and bad. Let me just quote Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney. There is good and bad and everyone will learn to live. Thank you. No, but there's good and bad in all kinds of music. Like if someone says, do I like heavy metal? Fuck. You give me Megadeth, Rust in Peace, put it in my headphones, and I'm a happy camper. You give me the Deftones White Pony, I'm happy as a pig in shit. You give me any Slipknot, you give me Iron Maiden Peace of Mind, I'm happy. You give me Dokken live in Paris, and I might be throwing plates at you. You know, like rap. If someone says, hey, here's Tribe Called Quest, awesome. Here's De La Soul, awesome. Here's Jay-Z, yeah. I'm going to pass. There's good. I mean, there's things I like, there's things I don't like in every aspect of music.
I tell you that my daughter's way into Whiskey Lullaby. I think I did. I think you knew that.
She likes the song?
Yeah.
Written by Whispering Bill Anderson.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about that before. It's a good song.
Yeah,
you know what I like in that song? I like the harmony part when Brad Paisley's singing along with Alison Krauss.
That's great.
Life is short, but this time it was bigger. But if you listen to the harmony line when she's the one that's singing lead, Brad goes up in the harmony. So she's going, life is short, but this time it was big. And he's like, life is short, but this time it was. And it's like really interesting because it's not the same melody.
Right.
You know, it's
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, it's neat sounding. It's really cool harmony. Anyway.
You know what harmony I always liked? Because there's a key change. In Islands in the Stream, Kenny Rogers sings it's in the key of C. When she sings, it's in the key of A flat. So it changes the dynamic of the harmony.
I thought you were going to say Island in the Sun. Sail away on an island in the sun.
Oh,
it's just
God.
something he's screaming. He can't hit the note, so he screams it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get there. Hold on, everybody. Until you can get high enough. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Graham Bonnet fan.
Yeah, I'm not either. Although I think I liked him in Rainbow a little bit. I didn't care for him in Michael Schenker Group. I liked him in Alcatraz.
You know what I like from? You know who I like in Rainbow? I heard the sounds of voices in the night. Dude.
Spellbound. There was something. Oh, great tune. Great.
Something's come over me. Dude.
What about Stone Cold? Remember that tune?
Yeah.
Stone Cold. Death Alley Driver. Wait, what was the one on the other album? I surrender to your loving.
He had such a good voice.
Oh, he was great.
He looks like a Jersey diner waitress that just got out of prison. She's been working on it. She's got a hand tattoo like right there. You know what I'm talking about. That's what he looks like now.
Yeah.
Or I think this is probably the second or third episode where I bag on Joe Turner's appearance.
I like Joe Lynn Turner. I've always been a fan.
He's like the Caitlyn Jenner of Yngwie's former singers.
You don't like? I thought you liked him the best out of his Yngwie's singers.
I'm just talking about the way he looks. No, he is the best. His voice, like in the 80s, is incredible.
I thought you were a Mark Foles fan.
He's just, the worst. He's the worst. Him and then, what's his name? Jeff Scott Soto on the first record. Like, they didn't produce it well enough, and they didn't give him time to, like, actually hit the notes. Like, now your ships are burned and the evil has returned. It's awful.
I think like that has more to do with the melody. Yeah, the melody is just so weird, though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just because from listening to him sing what he did with the rock star and hearing he's
great.
A
good singer. Very good singer. But that's why I'm saying I have a feeling it's more of a production thing where like they were like, you only get one day. You got to nail everything in one take, or I mean, this just is what it is.
Right.
We can't afford a second roll of tape, you know.
Probably.
Yeah, but like the what's the record called with I Am a Viking on it? Marching Out? He was much better in that, even though again the songs and the melodies are weak.
What was the one that went bow down, bow down, bow down, 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 bow?
That was
Was that on Marching Out?
that the I'll See the Light Tonight one?
Oh, that's it. I'll see the
Bowdo,
lights.
bowdo,
Yeah.
bowdo, 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 yeah.
That's it. What album was that? Was that the first one? Or was that
No, that's
Marching
the
Out?
second one. That's Marching Out. The same
Right,
one with
okay.
I Am a Viking. Yeah. That was probably, I mean, growing up, that was probably my favorite Yngwie record. I think that was the one I listened to the most.
Yeah, Alcatraz was it for me. And I did like the live one, No Parole for Rock and Roll live sentence.
That's the one with Vi on it, right?
Yngwie.
When did Vi take over?
Vi came in on the God Bless video album. I think it's called Disturbing the Peace.
This video.
Yeah. You know, when Vi first came out with doing Flexible, the Zappa stuff, and that first album, I enjoyed his playing. I thought it was like a hungry guy out there just going for it. It wasn't until, and actually, I like him up till Passion and Warfare. And after Passion and Warfare, I'm like, he hasn't said anything new to me since then.
Mm.
I just feel like he busted his nut. It was like Peter North and
Yeah, he's not for me.
Yeah, folks, you should all be embarrassed that you know who Peter North is. And John especially, because he didn't even stop. He was just like, yeah, Peter North. Yeah, that's it.
Right. Sure. No, I think okay, so Vi has he has one song that I every once in a while I'll go back to. And it knocks my socks off every time I hear it. He has a song on, I think it was called Alien Love Secrets. It was the one after Passion and Warfare.
Okay.
And this song is called Juice. Are you familiar?
I'm familiar with the woman named Juice Newton, but no, not the song Juice.
Okay. So it's basically, for all intents and purposes, it's Satch Boogie done by Vi.
Right. So it's good.
But here's the thing. It is, yeah. What does Satriani call that? He's like future blues or something stupid like that. I don't know. I've heard him, like somebody throw around that phrase in reference to that whole the Vi version of that song Juice. He is ripping his balls off in that song. I gotta say,
I'll check it out. Everyone, check out the song "Juice" by Steve Vai. Driving home Saturday night, and I heard Juice Newton on the radio singing "Break It to Me Gently," and I thought, I wonder if Juice is her real name. And then, if you met her father and you were like, "You named your daughter Juice?" No. Her full name is Juice Box. She shortened it to Juice. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is weird. This is why you got to watch that Chappelle special when he's talking about.
Imagine Juice. My name is Juice.
Smollett.
But seriously, my name is Juice. Oh, this is Juice Newton. No one's stopping saying who the fuck named you Juice.
You'd only hope that her brother's name was Fig.
Fig Newton, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, this is awful.
I find that very funny.
She doesn't appreciate the name that we gave her.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, kids these days. Anyway, yeah, Juice from Vi. Holy hell. It's a ripper. It's the only song that I would say if that one happens to come on like a playlist shuffle or something, I'm probably not going to turn it off. I'll probably listen to that.
I have to look up what Juice Newton's name was. What was the story with somebody named... Why would somebody name their kid Juice? Okay, her name is... Oh, here we go. Finally, her name was Judy K. Newton.
Mm.
So I want to see where she got the name Juice. Obviously, they're not going to sit there and call her Judy. This is Judy Newton.
How now? Who is this person?
Who's what?
Juice Newton.
You don't remember? She did the cover of "Just Call Me Angel of the Morning," and she did "Playing with the Queen of Hearts." Good and knowing that
year?
it's 1980.
This is 80.
She also did "Break It to Me Gently."
No idea.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Personal life. She lives in San Diego. It says right here on Wikipedia, if you want to know how she got the name Juice, you have to go see her personal. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that at all. She attended Foothill College in Los Altos. Let's see what else it says here. She really enjoyed a glass of apple juice. No, I'm kidding. Don't say that either. Where the fuck would you get the name? Oh yeah, this is Juice. Oh,
Where have all of our listeners gone?
I'll tell you where they're going. They've been playing Juice Newton's greatest hits for the last 10 minutes since I first brought her up. Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh my god. I wonder if any of the listeners here know who Max Webster is.
Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
A lot of Canucks on here.
That's the only. Yeah. Well, Canadians would know him, and then in males of a certain age.
If you grew up in Michigan or anywhere between Michigan and Buffalo, you're going to know who Max Webster is. What was the guy's name that came out of that band?
Kim Mitchell.
Kim Mitchell, and he does like a radio show in Canada, and he's also he had that big hit. Yeah, he does a radio show. It's on YouTube, and he's also
he had that big hit. Let's go for soda.
Yeah,
never.
Might as well go for soda. Nobody hurts it. I love that tune. But you can hear that ultra high compressed guitar. Might as well go for soda. Nobody hurts.
That guy's a good guitar player.
Yeah, it's great.
Some of the Universal Juvenile stuff. It reminds me of like some very Vi sort of decision making on guitar way before Vi was out.
Now, Max
or at least
Webster,
before he was known. I think he was a pretty good guitar player.
Yeah, I think he was good.
The problem is the songs and stuff. It sounds a bit like the vocals sound a bit like what I would refer to as like 80s like party rock. It reminds me of like David Byrne a little bit.
Yeah, didn't he also have a song "Patio Lanterns"?
That is true. Yes, actually he does.
Yeah,
what
I think
a weird name of a song.
Yeah.
She's hiding out in Lake Louise. But it's just like, what?
He it wasn't Rush on one of their records with Max Webster. Didn't they do a song together? Yeah.
It's Battle Scars, and it stinks. Not a good song.
You know, there's a lot of
Universal Juveniles is like the only record they had that has any decent songs on it.
So a lot of great Canadian bands like April Wine, Saga, Triumph.
What was the? Let's see, Saga. Wasn't there one that was
Saga was great.
Who else is Canadian? That band that I love right now, Big Wreck, is Canadian too.
Oh, they are? All you need to know was Gino Vanelli was from Montreal. That's all.
Gino Vanelli. Vinnie Moore lookalike.
Oh, right. Or Vinnie Moore's the Gino Vanelli lookalike.
Right. I think GNL should make a Gino Vanelli signature model just to trip people up when they have to say it fast. It'll be kind of like that, like one of those like Sally buys seashells down by the seashore sort of thing.
The Gino Vanelli GNL.
The GNL Gino Vanelli. Just,
right, and the model should be called like Benelli. So it's the Gino Vanelli GNL Benelli. You're like, what? It's a great model.
And they have to fit all of it on the headstock. Very busy headstock writing. What are we doing?
The headstock can house about 50 tuners. That's how long it's going to have to be to put the name on it.
So GNL hooked me up with this guitar, did me a solid. I paid for it. Don't get me wrong, but they made it, with some specs that I like. So I want to help GNL right now. I want to help them be successful. Change this goddamn headstock.
You don't like the
Giving you-
headstock?
I'm
They
giving you
should
priceless.
First of all, they should gloss it, and then
I'm
the
giving you-
logo they should use should look a little
Oh,
bit snappier
yeah.
than that.
Yeah, they got to change that headstock shape. Nobody likes that headstock, not even you.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I do love it.
You're going to get a Grammy for this or an Oscar.
I love it. No, I do like it. I
really?
think the thing I think the problem is that they use so many different logos. The one that you have on that one there kind of looks like it was drawn in somebody's class. Like, I did a sketch of what a logo should look like. Great. You're going to finish it? No, I'm going to put it on a headstock and put Guitars by Leo under it. Perfect. You nailed it.
Yeah. I don't care for the shape of it that much. I think it looks too slender, too long.
I just think that the logo stinks.
I like the company, and I like the
Look how
pickups.
compressed the logo is.
What?
G&L. Look how compressed it is. You have a long headstock, and they make the logo so compressed.
Let's see if we can get it without that light ruining it. There we go.
Yeah, they got the G in the.
It doesn't say G&L. It says G Music
Well,
Staff L. Yeah, the
Get me that guitar ASAP.
stupid. I like what they're doing with pickups. I like what they're doing quality-wise. Sales manager is unmatched in this industry.
They make a great guitar.
I like what they're doing with their pickups. I like what they're doing with their guitars, but man, I wish that headstock was a bit sexier. Other than that,
I like the way it looks. I just think the logo, and I always say to them when they made my guitar, make the headstock glossy. Don't ever give me a satin headstock with a logo on it. Looks
Really?
cheap, you know. Oh, it's awful. It looks like it's made in Indonesia.
Are all the Fenders have glossy headstocks on the front? I don't know if they all do.
Yeah. If they're USA, they do.
They do? Oh, okay. Interesting.
You know what doesn't? The Squire Affinity.
Good guitar. Probably a better guitar than its price is worth. Or
Yeah. Oh, no,
price
the
is worth what?
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. I'm just learning English.
Yes. The Squire. But anyways, I mean, look, here's how Fender does their headstock. Oh, yeah, this ain't a Fender. But
No.
see how, when I do it for Fender, how much better it looks. It's glossy. It's got the 70s logo on it.
That's
Yeah.
fun. Ooh. That's the Rebel Relic. You put a new neck on that, didn't you?
I did. It's got a huge boat neck V. It feels fantastic. It's like one of my favorite players right now.
Yeah. That's one thing that G&L could improve too. They don't offer a fat neck on anything. They don't have a great big fat option.
No, their V-neck is a fat neck.
Is it fat?
It's a boat, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people's problem is they sit there and everyone's making the same thing of vanilla. If you're making a slim C-neck Strat, why would somebody not just buy a Fender? Make something that Fender's not making in that. They should be making Strats with big, you know what I mean? Like, if you had a company and someone said, hey, we're making Strats, where are you separating yourself? To me, I'd be like, we make 1 3/4 nut width, we make big fat V's, we do things that you can't buy in without getting a Fender custom shop for $8,000. You know?
I agree all the way through.
Yeah.
I think that's where these MFD pickups are cool. It's different.
Yeah. No, they're good.
It's different.
I like
for
them.
sure.
I like the MFDs. I mean, I think it's like one of Leo's original things. You know? But, alrighty.
Guitars by Leo. This episode has been brought to you by G&L Aftermarket Tone Plastic. No. All right, so we done?
Yeah, let's call it.
Right on. For the three of you that stuck around.
Yes, thanks
Very
for
good.
watching. Right, we started with 50, we ended with 2. Have a great week.
All right, everybody. We appreciate the time.
Folks, we'll see you on the flip side. That's our
All right.
catchphrase. We'll see you on the... No, I'm kidding.
Who is that competing? We'll see you on the flippity flap. I'm so stupid. Oh, all right, enough.
Very good, everybody.
All right, see you guys.
All right, very good.
You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.